What's up, WandaVision fans? Ryan O'Toole back here again, giving you guys yet another WandaVision spoiler-filled Episode 8 review. If you guys are new here, feel free to click that subscribe button and that bell notification icon for more reviews, reactions, rankings, and more movie content. We're in the end game now, folks. Episode 8 just debuted. We got one more episode left to go. Then we're on to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I love the show very much, guys. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on the episode down below. Did you love it? Think it was okay? Did you absolutely hate it? You can put spoilers in here because this is a spoiler-filled review. So if you haven't seen the episode yet, that's your fault. I put it in the title. So we are talking spoilers for episode 8. This episode's titled Previously On because if you saw in the previous episode, which is 7, you saw at the end of the episode that it was Agatha all along. Agatha Harkness, Catherine Hahn was behind the whole plotline, which we obviously knew it was Agnes doing all this, or Agatha. And in this episode, it's Agatha Harkness taking control of Wanda, telling her, how are you able to do all of this in Westview? And so we get backstory of Wanda doing different events. But this episode does open up with Agatha Harkness's backstory. It goes all the way back to 1683 in Massachusetts, I think. It's 1693 and we see Agatha with these other witches, including her mother, and they deemed her as this evil witch, and so they condemn her to death. So they use all their powers on her and she's screaming, and then she's fighting back and just turns them all to skeletons. So it's pretty much the opening of this episode showing Agatha Harkness's power and her backstory, I suppose. I think that opening scene was very cool just to see Agatha lose her mind. So this episode seems to be building up that Agatha Harkness is one of the big villains of this show and she's manipulating Wanda. She forces her to tell her what is going on, how she was able to control Westview, because of course she's holding Billy and Tommy hostage. So we see different events go down. We see Wanda and Pietro as young kids with their parents. And they had this collection of sitcom shows, which we see this show was paying homage to. We see Malcolm in the Middle in there, I Love Lucy, Bewitched. And Wanda basically loves her sitcoms. And so that's an answer to the question we were wondering. Why were sitcoms involved in Wanda's reality? Definitely get you in the feels. You get to see Wanda's parents and with Pietro as a young kid and Wanda. They basically are living their family life, suburban life, until this terrible event happens with Wanda as a child. We know she explained in detail why she hates Tony Stark so much, and we see one of Tony Stark's missiles get in there. It says the Stark Industries logo, but it doesn't explode because Wanda's using her abilities, her magical powers. That scene with Ultron and Quicksilver, Wanda basically says, we waited days for Tony Stark or something to show up. So that basically, we knew Tony Stark somehow was going to be involved in this episode, and it answered that question. And then we move on to this next scene with Wanda that is pretty heartbreaking. Wanda does go in the sword facility, and we remember from previous episode before that Hayward told Monica that Wanda broke into the sword facility and took Vision's body, but we see in this certain sequence Wanda just wants to see Vision. And then we see Hayward and they have this meeting and she says, I just want to see him. And then she gets to see him, like his body is just snapped in all different pieces. His head, his arms, his legs, and his body. And Hayward's like, you're not taking him. And so Wanda breaks the glass out of anger. She just wants to see him. And then she just goes right up to him and she touches his forehead. Now this is where the emotions come. She's like, I can't feel him. If we remember from Avengers Infinity War, Vision says, what do you feel? And then Wanda's like, I just feel you. So that's definitely a callback to that movie. Might I just say, Emmys, can you please nominate Elizabeth Olsen? Because she is phenomenal in this episode. She gives her best performance as Wanda or Scarlet Witch by far in the whole entire MCU. She is phenomenal in this show, and this episode just proves that she deserves an Emmy nomination. Just a lot of emotions from Wanda in this episode that's definitely going to get the fans at the heartstrings. We learn an actual truth that Wanda didn't take Vision's body. Hayward's a piece of shit. He lied to Monica and all his associates that Wanda took the body, but it was him for his own pleasure. I'm telling you guys, I knew Hayward's up to something. Is he Ultron? Is he creating Ultron again? I don't know. We'll find out in the next episode. But yeah, Hayward is bad. And then this final flashback sequence, Agnes is like, how were you able to create this whole entire world, sitcom world? We see Wanda drive in Westview. She drives through Westview, and we see all these other characters we've seen in the show. And she drives to where the house is supposed to be, but the house isn't there. And then Wanda just gets out of the car. She goes right to the spot, and she is just sad. And then she just lets her powers just go to the highest lengths possible. And with how powerful Wanda is, she was able to create this whole entire sequence. Wanda's really sad, really depressed. She's letting out her powers. She creates the house, and Vision, like, she's able to use her powers and have Vision come back in some sort of way. And he's black and white, and she's in color, and he's just like, Wanda. And then it just ends. That whole sequence ends. It shows this studio audience, and then Agatha's there just doing that. We obviously see Billy and Tommy held hostage. Thank God they weren't dead. Thank God Agatha didn't kill them. She has them tied up to a string, and she's wearing her Agatha Harkness witch costume. And she's like, if you go any further, this is going to be a war. And you created all of this, Wanda. And then she drops the name. She drops the name. That's why you are the Scarlet Witch. They finally call her Scarlet Witch. So as soon as she dropped the Scarlet Witch name, everybody's going to be talking crazy about it. And it was a cool name drop like that. And then, as we all predict would happen, that's where the episode ends. But they gave us an end credit scene yet again. You got to stay through the credits, guys. We did get an end credit scene, and it's Hayward. It's him saying it's time for our attack, and we got to plan things out. And then he goes inside his tent, and we see Vision's body. The camera pans up. It's Vision's body, but it's a different color. It's white. So my theory was that Hayward is secretly Ultron in human form, and it seems like that theory is completely wrong. I think possibly with Vision's body, they could bring Ultron back, but that seems kind of unlikely. It seems like they're just using this Vision body as a weaponized evil version. It seems like it's going to fight Wanda in this final episode, or the actual Vision could be actually still around and they'll fight this evil Vision body. I think we'll have 2 cameos in this next episode. One is the one we're not expecting. I think we could see possibly Patrick Stewart show up again as Professor X, or Ian McKellen as Magneto, or Al Pacino, as people have been saying. I doubt that. And I think we'll probably see Doctor Strange as well show up in the end credits scene. It just makes sense for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. But I don't want to predict too much, guys. Marvel's just been telling us, don't predict too much, you're all wrong. There you have it, guys. That was my thoughts on episode 8 of WandaVision. Let me know your guys' thoughts below. If you loved it, wanted more, were you disappointed by the episode? I could see some people being disappointed and wanting more. That's totally understandable. I'm very excited for the season finale, guys. We have no idea what's going to happen, but I'm excited for it. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. All my social media links are in the description below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!